wasted on me. Drink up your wasted. Drink up our waste.
Airsoft magazines is a very difficult subject to tackle for some people. There's a combination of performance and aesthetics that we all require, no matter what gun you run. However, with M4s, it's a very competitive market. There's lots of options, and some of them are quite cool. And obviously, we have the biggest name in the game, PTS. They're renowned for their EPM magazines, which are very reliable, very solid, and very popular. And for good reason, they're top performers, and SpeedQB also did a variety in different colours. So recently, PTS came out with a new magazine, the EPM1. A very sleek design, very aesthetically pleasing. It has a very nice weight, the possibility of changing base plates, a magazine indicator to let you know how full or empty a magazine is just by looking at it, a feature we don't see very often in the AEG magazine game. And most impressively, a 250 round capacity. This is basically a mid-cap magazine that has the capacity of a high cap. That's very impressive and something the Airsoft community has been dying for quite a while. So I thought I'd order one and give you a quick review and let you know what I think of it. Now, first off, this magazine is £28, and I have to say that is quite a high price for an AEG magazine, especially considering people need a few of these. I myself like to run 5 magazines, and as you can imagine, that adds up very quickly when it's £28 a magazine. However, whilst price is a very important thing to keep out for, we need to weigh up if it's worth that money. So I think that's something I'm going to particularly cover in this review. Is this magazine worth £28? So it has a very nice weight, very sleek, nice materials. It's good to see the BB tracker and a huge capacity. But how does it perform? And this is honestly where it is most disappointing. See, I actually had planned to film a very nice intro for this video and make quite a big deal out of this magazine. I was really hoping for something extremely innovative, a new game changer, and maybe the new standard for AEG magazines. However, during my shooting and my testing, this magazine kept jamming on me. So at first I thought this was an issue with me. I personally run a DSG, and as most people know, these are very complex and highly tuned machines, and any one thing going wrong can cause the whole system to be ineffective. So initially the magazine would jam pretty early on into its cycle, and I couldn't tell why this was. It just wouldn't feed, there would be 3 BBs clogged up in the barrel, and no matter how much I pulled the trigger, BBs wouldn't come out the end. And this is particularly bad for AEGs. If you have a clogged hop-up unit, the pressure inside the piston can be inverted and cause PME and destroy your piston. So this is quite an expensive problem to have. So you have to be very careful when your AEG jams. Now initially I thought this is just an issue with my DSG, and I was beginning to stress out and worry a bit. So what I did was I took away this PTS mag and I returned to one of my original AEG mags. As a few people know, I usually run Battle Axe mags, which are pretty much clones of the original PTS mag. And whilst they're a lot cheaper, the material is not as strong, and the capacity is only 140 rounds, it fed flawlessly. It seems the issue is with this mag and not with my gun. And so my first idea is that there is simply too much pressure in this system. The reason it is jamming is that the BBs have so much pressure from the huge capacity and the spring coiled up inside that it is pushing the BBs up and into the hop-up unit too hard, and this is causing problems with the nozzle and feeding. And before people say that this is maybe a me problem and I haven't figured this out too much, I did some more research into the communities and found this to be a semi-common problem with these mags. I find this really disappointing and quite annoying actually, because I was really hoping for these mags to work. It's something I really want to exist, but it doesn't seem to be quite there yet. Something also worth pointing out, loading these magazines is very difficult. Admittedly, I'm not a strong person, but it took quite a lot of effort and time to load one of these magazines. I usually use an Odin speed loader that has a crank, and it would only get to about 150 rounds before I had to use a manual speed loader with my hand because I couldn't get enough pressure off with the Odin. What usually takes me about 15 seconds, maybe 10 seconds to load my average AEG mag was taking me a couple of minutes with the EPM1. It was too much of a battle, and if I'm honest, it just wasn't worth it. Even if it fed flawlessly, I'm not sure this would be a magazine I would run many of. I think having one of these in a loadout would have purpose. It would be good for a last magazine, knowing that if this was the last mag that you had in your loadout, you'd have 250 rounds left, which is still quite a lot. However, if it can't feed reliably, then it might not be worth buying or carrying. So as of right now, this is not something I can recommend. I really love the direction it's going, and this feed window is a great idea that does actually work. But in terms of performance, I really can't recommend it for now, and I'm really hoping it's something that gets revised and something we can look forward to later down the line. If you want to see more reviews, let me know what you want to see. I'm always happy to go out and buy something if it benefits the Airsoft community and give my honest, heartfelt opinion on it. When I buy something, I try to remain optimistic whilst reviewing it and give the benefit of the doubt in situations, but unfortunately it doesn't always go as planned. If you want to hit the subscribe button to see more of my videos, that's much appreciated. Having you guys around is a really great help to my channel, and it's something I really enjoy doing.